Welcome back to another FAQ session with the Law Office of A. Green. Today I'm going to discuss some of the most frequently asked questions that I get from clients on the topic of divorce. Before we actually get started with the FAQ session of this video, I want to start off by discussing the different types of divorces first. So let's get started. On one end, you can have what's called an uncontested divorce, and on the other end, you can have what's called a contested divorce. An uncontested divorce is when the parties can both agree that they want to go through with the divorce. And second, they agree on all the issues involved in the divorce, including child support, child custody, property divisions, retirement plans, pension plans, and every other issue that could be involved in a divorce. Uncontested divorces can typically be completed a lot faster because the parties are not going back and forth on the different issues involved in the divorce. And as a result, uncontested divorces can be a lot less expensive than contested divorces. Now, on the other hand, you can have what's called a contested divorce. A contested divorce arises when the parties can't agree on either one or more issues involved in the divorce. For example, the parties may be able to agree on all the issues involved in the divorce, but can't agree on child support. On the other hand, the parties may not be able to agree on any of the issues involved in the divorce. Contested divorces can typically last a lot longer because the parties are usually going back and forth on the different issues, and the parties are usually required to attend mediation before a trial can be heard for the divorce. As a result, contested divorces can typically be much more expensive than uncontested divorces. So now that we've discussed the different types of divorces, let's get started with today's FAQ session. Question number 1. What are the requirements that I must meet in order to be divorced in Texas? The answer to this question is either you or your spouse must have lived in Texas for at least 6 months before you file for divorce. And either you or your spouse must have lived in the county where you are filing for the divorce for at least 90 days before you file the divorce. Question number 2. How can I get a quick divorce in Texas? The answer to this question is there is no such thing as a quick divorce in Texas. A divorce must be on a court's docket for at least 60 days before a judge will sign a final divorce decree granting your divorce. The 60-day period can only be waived if there is domestic violence or family violence involved in the case. However, keep in mind that a divorce can be quickly resolved after the 60-day period if the parties have agreed to all the issues involved in the case. Question number 3. What will happen to my children and or my property during the pendency of the divorce? The answer to this question is that there can be temporary orders put in place that would determine the child custody arrangement, who would be responsible for paying child support, who would be responsible for paying the bills, and who would be allowed to live in the house during the pendency of the divorce. There can also be temporary injunctions in place that would prevent either party from transferring or disposing of the property during the pendency of the divorce. Question number 4. What is a waiver of service? The answer to this question is that a waiver of service is when the other party agrees not to be served with a summons, but instead sign a waiver of service and receive a copy of the original petition for divorce that would have been served on them by either a process server or a sheriff. Keep in mind that if you are the party that is being asked to sign a waiver of service, that you hire an attorney or read the language very carefully to make sure that you are not giving up any of your rights regarding property divisions, your children, or any other major issues that can ultimately affect your life. That is the end of today's topic on divorce. Thank you so much for tuning in with me again today. Until next time, happy holidays and take care.